Good afternoon, everyone. How are you doing today? So I have watched a couple of videos today about the mortgage forbearance. If you didn't know, in this morning's daily financial news, I shared with you the seemingly good or if not great news about the mortgage forbearance program, where we saw a huge drop in the number of participants, about 650,000. We are now under 3 million folks in the forbearance program. Again, as of this morning's daily financial news, we have another 800,000 looking to potentially exit the program in the next 30 days. If you want to get data like this, I put it together for you every day in what I call the daily financial news on this channel. You can look it up. I do it October 6th, October 5th, October 4th, every day about 7:30. But the reason I'm recording this video is I have seen many YouTube entertainers this morning spreading what I consider to be inaccurate information. And again, I say this from experience. I say this from going through the last crisis. And let me paint you the vision. What I am hearing many YouTube entertainers talk about is, hey, 647,000 people left the program. That's great news without any caveats. But here's the reality. Well, first off, the YouTube entertainers are saying that's great because the homeowners are not renewing. They're saying, hey, we got our job back, or maybe we refied or whatever. And that's only part of the equation. Where in reality, folks, the truth is the banks have the power. Now, if the loan is FHA backed and it's a part of the CARES Act, maybe it's a little bit less of a power, but most of the 650,000 drop was in private mortgages. Here's the reality. In order for a forbearance to continue, both the borrower and the bank have to agree. There are two reasons for a forbearance not to continue. One is the borrower does say, as the YouTube entertainers say, hey, I'm good. I don't need the help anymore. I got my job, or my job's back, or I want to refi, or whatever. That is one reason. The other reason could be the banks say, no, we are no longer extending this. And they have the right to do it. They are the lender, and they have the right to say no. So here's the reality. We do not know the split of the 650,000. We know the total of the people out of the program. But the chances are 100% of them are because the borrower said, I'm ready, I'm good, I don't need it, is near zero. I suspect it might be 70-30, maybe 60-40, where the individual has opted out. But in reality, there's still 30 to 40% of the folks that were expecting to be extended where the bank said no. Maybe the borrower forgot to fill out the paperwork. Maybe the borrower didn't reach out. There are lots of reasons the banks could kick you out of the forbearance. It could be as silly as, hey, you didn't do your check-in every 30 days. Who knows what the reasons are. But folks, we need to understand what percentage of the 650,000 people that have left the program did so on their own accord or were pushed by the bank. And we don't know that yet. Because again, if 40% of the people left the program because the bank said no more, no mas, that's 240,000 homes that are potentially in trouble. Some of those, they have the money in the bank, they'll pay up. Some of them will get a new mortgage, but some of them will have to sell. So again, And I say this because I saw what banks did last time. Banks are not your friend. If you can't make your payment, they are not your friend. They will do everything they can to protect their equity, to get their payments. So to think 640,000 people have left the program simply because they're okay is foolish and naive. And I just have to put that out there. I hope all of them left because they're okay. History says it's not the case. Many private mortgage banks are like, nope, we're not doing it anymore. They don't have to. They're not part of the CARES Act. So we might hear the data in the next couple of weeks about what the split is, but I doubt it because I haven't heard that data yet. But it is important to realize that a forbearance takes two parties, the borrower and the lender. In order for it to be continued, both have to say yes. In order for a forbearance to be stopped, only one party has to say no. That's the big difference. Lots of people still want the forbearance, but the banks could say no, and boom, forbearance is over. You're out of the program. Some of these younger YouTube entertainers do not realize that banks are not your friend. They're just not. I saw the banks do seemingly irrational things in the last crisis. So trust me, there are some poor souls that were in the forbearance program that missed some little details and have been kicked out. Maybe they didn't do their 30-day update. Maybe they didn't do this. Maybe they didn't do that. We shall see. I got a question here. What do you think the chances are of a new forbearance from the government before the end of the year? I think that said. Nothing. I don't think there's a chance. I do think, but if you tweak that question slightly, I think there is a chance if there's a switch in the executive branch that there is a CARES Act 2 and thus forbearance will go on for 18 or potentially 24 months for FHA-backed loans. It could happen for sure. Absolutely. I've already put out a video yesterday or the day before saying that I expect the eviction moratoriums to go to April. I could see mortgages going to April or May as well. I do not think it happens before the election. And frankly, it doesn't have to. The CARES Act takes you to March. So that is my opinion. So in the end, folks, when you see young YouTube entertainers put out videos about, hey, 640,000 people left the forbearance program, yay, realize that it's not quite that easy. Again, I want to say this one more time. To get a forbearance, both the borrower and the lender have to say yes. In order to be kicked out of the program, either the borrower or the lender could say no, and you're out. All right, everybody, take care. Bye.